What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Payne. Welcome back to another Echocalypse video. Okay guys, we're going to do one that's for the free-to-play players and how to find success as a free-to-play player in a pay-to-win environment. Now, let's not kid ourselves here. This game is absolutely pay-to-win, but you can definitely enjoy it as a free-to-play player, and I've been doing that very much so. And I did a video on this, but now I want to cover the semantics behind what I meant. Okay, so first off, we're going to go through a checklist. How do you be successful in a game where primarily whales dominate, right? As a free-to-play player, how do you become successful? So a couple things I want to talk about, and I think this is going to be key for a lot of players, and this may kind of change the way you look at the game. So number one, luck. There's no ifs or buts about it. Luck will drive your success in this game quite a bit. You guys can see here I'm at 1 million power, 74,000 as a free-to-play player at level 51. I'm on day, what are we at now? Day 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So about to be day 14. So about to be day 14 this reset. So I'm day 13 today. So not doing too shabby as a free-to-play player. But luck played a big part of it. Okay, and I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about. And I think I proved this to you in some of the community posts. Look, for example, getting a free copy of Enruru was big, but then getting a dupe in a random copy was huge. Getting my 4 Akins up was massive for me. This here just happens through story mode progression, so this is actually a really good unit. The MC unit is something I do want to cover eventually. Pan I got really lucky with. I got 2 selectives and a free copy through the regular draw. So I ended up picking her 3 times because I feel like she's a great shielder. And then, of course, just getting other SSR units along the way for free, like Niz, for example, or picking like Dina through the selective summons, etc. Right? I think this luck plays a massive part in this. All right? So that's the first thing that's going to drive your success. If you're not lucky, you're going to fall behind. It's just the nature of the beast in gotchas, right? So luck plays a big role. Number 2, patience. Patience is key, right? Understanding that this is a marathon and not expecting things to come easy for free-to-play players is massive. Now, by patience, I mean, of course, having the ability to re-roll if your account is crap and you actually want to be successful, having the ability to know where to use your resources, whether it's for SSR equipment or furnishing. So, for example, let's just jump into the event, right? And I kind of wish I covered this earlier, but I made a simple mistake, and I regret making this mistake early on. Is when I started doing the Cerulean holiday event, for example, the shop, right? I saved for the outfit, which is exactly what you should be doing. Save the outfit, get the outfit. And then I should have jumped on to furnishing, which is something that I've been focusing on a lot more now. Well, I mean, we have enough time here to get most of this, but I'm probably going to miss 1 or 2 things. Now, furnishing should have been the number 1 goal because furnishing packages, they give you the most amount of CP gain, so power gain, combat power gain, right? Instead, I was focused on getting myself the special equipment components to get my SSR equipment faster for my units, which was actually a mistake because I could do this in the Abyss at any time, and instead I should have been focusing on that. So if you are currently focusing on Silva's shop and getting this, switch your mindset over to the furnishing. So understanding where you place your resources plays a big deal because resources don't come easy in this game for free-to-play players. So having that knowledge of what to do with it is very, very important, okay? So that's step number 2 is understanding, being patient and understanding where to put your resources. That was just one example right there, okay? Another example, of course, is going to the procurement shop and actually going through some of these things. Like, for example, refreshing 5 times and using your little DNA draw points, right? So this is important because every time you refresh, you have an opportunity to get yourself, for example, right there, 2. That'll take a while to finish, but you know what? The closer you get to completing something every single time, the better off you'll be, right? Eventually you're gonna get, it's like shoveling snow. It starts like a heavy mountain originally, but the more you chip at it, the faster it goes down, and eventually you'll see that light at the end of the tunnel and get yourself what you need and complete the task. So these are very important things to do. Now, as a free-to-play player, you should be focusing on your SSR. I wouldn't really do the SRs at all. Just get those SSRs out of the way and only focus on the ones up to 5 and then stop. So those are some important things. Understanding the procurement shop is very, very vital to your progression. So go check out that video. I actually made a video about the shops. I think it's pretty critical to your success as a free-to-play player, and I would highly recommend everybody go check that out. And also understanding how to gear. So gearing is super, super vital to this as well too. Putting the proper attack gear on attack units that skills scale off attack, and putting HP on tanks and HP on shielders because all of their shields scale off of HP, right? So understanding mechanics of the game is a pretty important role as well too, and that's just going to take time. If you're not used to gachas, if you don't understand, I highly recommend you guys read the skills, go over some of the skills, and kind of figure out what they do before you decide you want to invest into a character or how to gear them up, right? The beauty of this game is it does kind of give you a lot of leeway on equipment because you can just unequip anytime, put it back up on a unit, and their equipment goes back up to the level they were, -10 usually, and then you can just, use a little bit of gold and get it back up. So having the knowledge of knowing what to do with what characters is very important. Okay, so that's going to be a big one too. Now, another big one is using your resources for your gems correctly. Not going in here and going ham on every single unit that comes out. Understand what you're looking for. Okay? Like, for example, if you're going to build a burn team, know what a burn team is about and what units fit best for that burn team. If you're going to build yourself a full Bifrost team, understanding which Bifrost units fit best together. So when you see a banner, not going for every banner and having the ability to hold back a bit is key to free-to-play success. We're not supposed to own every character, right? We're not supposed to max every character. As a matter of fact, it's going to take you a very long time to max anything. So Aiken, for example, is a good example of someone you should go in on. And then Pan Pan is an example of a unit you can just hold back because you have selective draws, you have other ways to get her, etc., right? And knowing that the advanced draw is your last resource for getting a character you want because it's only a 30% increase versus some of these banners that are 40% increase. So those are the kind of things you need to understand. And again, luck plays a big role, but knowing what to go for is as just important as having that luck, okay? Now, number 3, this is a very important one, okay? Finding a good syndicate. Shout out to Eden, shout out to Kasumi and the gang, Cardboard, everybody else on here. A good syndicate will do a lot of things for free to play. Number 1, prize tickets. These are crazy good. Having the ability to scratch and get yourself all of these diamonds as a free to play player that you normally have no access to because your whale friends are carrying your ass. Thank you to all my whale friends who do this. I think this is a amazing part in the game that allows free to play players to somewhat keep up. And I think finding a proper syndicate that will, number 1, help you get carried. And also you can contribute, of course. You got to carry your own weight, but that is a big part of it. Having access to an integrated room with all of these extra bonuses is going to be a big part as well. And then, of course, participating in all syndicate events. So, for example, there's a new one out, right, called Shadows of the Sentinels. Being part of this and understanding how this works is a big part, right? I just lost all my HP. I'm probably back up there now. So what we want to do is get all my HP back. So let's see, where did I get sent to? Where's my unit? Hold on. Understanding how all this works is a big part of it, right? Look, Monkey Butt 68 beat me. So that sucks. So now I got to find my unit, get myself back up, get my HP going, and you're golden, right? So this is where I'm at currently. You guys can see right there. This is your current location. I have no way to currently recover my HP because I already have. And then you just collect the rewards and you move on. Again, participating in every syndicate event is so vital to your success as a free-to-play player. You want to be a part of that every single time, okay? And then lastly, let's cover a couple more things. Doing all your dailies, to the highest extent possible. So you guys can see here, completing all of this, even doing the ones that are not gonna finish up, just the extra currency is nice to have. Of course, this one here you want to avoid if you're free to play because it's spending crystals to buy solution, which you don't really need. Later on, especially, you don't need it. Like, ignore that part. Completing your dailies is so important, and the patrol one is huge. Now, this game, like I said many times, does take up a lot of your free time. It's a game that requires you to kind of time sink a lot, right? Because there's so much things going on. So knowing when to do purifications at ×1 versus ×2, that's big, of course, because you get purification supplies. Eventually, you will run out of these little discs to level up. Those are going to be things that are hard to get as a free-to-play player in the level 50s and up. So it's very important, guys, to make sure that you're doing all of your game modes to the highest possible extent. Like, look, over here, I'm on 146. I got to push this, right? So battle speed up, get this up. These are resources that are going to be important for you to level up your characters, get yourself the proper gear you need, etc., right? So make sure you're updating the units. Make sure you're updating people you can use. Like, for example, I got Pan Pan, so I definitely want to update that. Put the tall bamboo on her. right? You guys can see here, make sure everyone's got their proper gear on. So yeah, don't go willy-nilly here on these things. These are all important things that'll help you raise your power and advance. So this here is for arms. Arms is a big power increase, right? So a lot of people that are ignoring this every day, and it is tedious, are going to be falling behind. So doing every piece of content is so important, guys. And I highly recommend, if you are falling behind and you're finding yourself like struggling to keep up, rethink the game, because honestly it is going to be very time costly, and it is time consuming. I cover multiple games, and I can tell you now, there's been times during the day where I'm like, man, I really don't want to do this today because I've got so many things on the go. I'm a family man. I've got kids. I've got a wife. I have a real job. I have a career, and I do this on the side. Plus, I play multiple games and I cover multiple games. And I can tell you now, for me, this is a lot. But I'm still putting effort into it because I enjoy the game, and I know if I fall behind a little bit as a content creator, my content becomes useless. So for you guys, that incentive might not be there. And if it's too much of a time sink, I know a lot of people have quit already. You know, you may want to think about looking for another game if you can't handle the amount of game modes this game does possess. So biggest part for F2P players, keeping up with the content, doing all of your turns, making sure you do every single desperation mode, working on that gear, advancing as much as you possibly can in Abyss, etc. Right? It's all very important things to help you advance. So you can see here I'm doing this while I'm talking. Okay, now the next part: success for free to play, not falling to temptation. Okay, one of the biggest things for free to play players is outliving a whale. And I say this because I've whaled in many games, so I'm not foreign to it, but I also understand the mindset of many spenders. And a lot of spenders will either have buyer's remorse or quit the game early on because they just can't keep up with other whales, and it's not sustainable. A lot of free-to-play players survive because they just enjoy the game and have fun with it, and then eventually when power creep happens, those whales are gone. Free-to-play players have the ability to kind of catch up, okay? So that, I think, is an important one, to just have the perseverance to continue playing. And remember, it's just for fun. I think that mindset is very important on this. If you guys don't have the proper mindset and you're competing to be the best as a free-to-play player, you're not going to get there, right? That one I think is just a personal thing. If you are looking to be the best as a free-to-play player, then you're in the wrong game. You want to go play a console game or something else. Gacha games, pay to win will always conquer free-to-play. It's just how it's built, right? They're out to get money, and that's an important thing. So having that proper mindset, guys, knowing that you're in it for the long haul and you're going to outlive the whales because you're enjoying the game and you're having fun with it and you're not competing, I think that part will set apart a lot of people versus the ones who are quitting, and that's going to help a lot of free-to-play players survive. PvP. Let's go to PvP and talk about it. You don't need to be top 100, okay? You don't, unless you're doing the Niz completion mode to get the last set of gear, which is the purple gear, which is great. I couldn't do it on mine. I got to 106, I think was the highest I ever got. So understanding that, like, you don't need to push to top 100, but you should, and this is important, guys, you should be trying to beat as many opponents as you can. You get the rewards for winning, okay, not for losing. So winning is important. So even fight lower end people just to get the wins and get those extra SR and R bonds. That's a very important part. So make sure you guys are not ignoring that. Don't worry about going up 3 ranks. It doesn't change how much you get reward wise, right? So PvP important. Participate. When the shiny ceremony shows up, even if you lose, participate, because just even participating for 10 matches, you get yourself the rewards. And I think that one is something that a lot of people didn't do, and they should be doing, okay? So make sure you're doing that. So PvP, very important. Once you unlock Liberation, 110% go in here and do your turns, because you get yourself a lot of different resources and tokens for summoning, and that's something everybody should be doing as well. I'm waiting for my turns to go up so I can go further. And then, of course, do your purifications, and then, like I mentioned, do in the cage fights, make sure you are doing the full 5 fights and fighting people you can actually beat, okay? So you see I'm rank 133 as free to play. I'm okay with that. There's no problem. It's free resources at the end of the day, okay? Make sure you do that. Now, the last part I want to talk about is understanding your team building, okay? So there are a lot of translation problems in this game. I'm just going to show you one easy example of a translation issue, okay? And this is just a prime example of things you have to test. And as a free-to-play player, you should be testing everything. And that's what I've been doing. I've made mistakes along the way. I've corrected them in videos. I made mistakes in my videos. I've talked about it, corrected those. So, for example, let's just take a look at Zawa, who's one of my favorite characters and one of the best characters in my opinion in the game. Blind. The bear has a 50% chance of missing a normal attack. This is wrong. This is a mistranslation. It's actually missing any attack. They can be supers, they can be normals, they can be basic attacks. Doesn't matter. It's 50% chance to miss, period. This is a translation issue. There are many of these going around in the game, and I think they're not going to correct them. So testing. Test all of your things as a free-to-play player to be successful. You have to understand when you team build, you're going to have the option to move units around, front and back, up and down, left and right, and understanding units with full rage versus units who gain rage, units who give rage, etc. All that stuff matters. Where a healer is better than a shielder, where a shielder is better than a healer, all of that stuff is going to make sense to you as you play the game more and experiment. Is it worth having a tank? Is it worth going full DPS, etc.? These are all things you have to test. So as a free-to-play player, guys, you should be testing everything. Don't read just the skill and assume that's what it does. There are a lot of mistranslations, and my advice to you guys is just play around with it, see what happens, because again, you can quit a match and go back in and not lose any stamina whatsoever. All right, guys, there's my advice to you as a free-to-play player who's, I think, doing pretty well. So if you guys have any comments and suggestions as well that makes you successful as a free-to-play player, or for pay-to-wins who have any advice you want to give those people who are a little bit behind, let us know in the comment section. I would love to hear from you guys. This is Payne. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Take care.